change. The change is in the place of the main change between series fed and transformer coupled is in the place of RL, where in series fed class amplifier in the RC itself, RC and RL were same. That means there was no RC, and RL itself was acting like RC. And you know that the load resistance, it might keep on changing, because load resistance means it is a device which you are going to connect to the amplifier. So it will be keep on changing. When it is keep on changing, automatically the DC current has only one path, that is it has to pass through the load resistance only. So if the load is changing, the DC current, collector current will also change. When collector current will change, automatically what happens, the Q point will be shifting. So when Q point shifts, you know that amplification level will also shifts. But on coming to the transformer coupled, in the transformer coupled class A amplifier, we are having a transformer where the primary of the transformer is going to act as a resistance. When we are considering the AC analysis, in DC analysis, we are considering there is zero voltage drop. That means zero resistance is being given by the primary windings. But when we consider the AC analysis, we are going to consider a factor. Which is that factor? We'll consider one thing.
So reflected load resistance.
Load resistance, sir.
Yes, very good. Reflective load resistance or reflected load resistance, RL dash. So because of this presence of this RL dash, what happens? There will be some voltage drop, and also because of this reflected load resistance, we are going to have the some stability in the collector current. So when you are having this reflected load resistance, and this reflected load resistance will not easily change compared to, because we are not connecting RL directly. It is some part of the load resistance is having the effect. So fluctuation in IC will be reduced to an extent. When fluctuation of IC is reduced to an extent, automatically the Q point instability reduces. When Q point instability reduces, automatically what happens? There will be the stability of the amplifier will increase. When stability increases, automatically the efficiency will increase. This is what actually happens in transformer coupled class A power amplifier. So only the change is this one. So we are replacing RL by transformer. And for AC, obviously in power amplifier, we are going to amplify AC signal only, right? So this RL dash will be, obviously it will be present over there. So this is going to help out in getting more efficiency. Coming to the advantages, whatever about the transformer coupled class A amplifier, whatever we discussed. So here quiescent collector current doesn't flow through the load resistance. It just flows through the primary of the transformer. It is not going to flow through the, that is ICQ doesn't flow through RL. So one thing is we are isolating DC from RL, because in our earlier case, through RL only DC current was also flowing, and across RL only we are getting the AC collector current also. That is amplified version of the input signal. So there was a mixture of AC and DC at the load resistance, but here ICQ is not flowing through the RL. It is completely isolated. The DC current is completely isolated from load resistance. So that is one of the advantage we are having. And for DC current, we are considering it is the primary winding is offering zero resistance. So when it is offering zero resistance, during that time, a constant IC can flow directly to the transistor, because when there is no, because obviously you are using plus VCC. When you are using plus VCC, do you think this IC will fluctuate? IC which is DC.
No, sir.
It
No,
will not
sir.
fluctuate,
No, sir.
obviously. When this is fixed, this will be fixed. When this is going to be fixed, automatically what happens? Your Q point will be almost stable. This is one advantage. Other one is we are having 50% efficiency. Its efficiency 50% is not a great efficiency, but still, when it is compared with series fed class A amplifier, it is comparatively more. That is one advantage. And one more advantage is impedance matching. So here, since we are using the transformer, so impedance matching for the maximum power transformer, power transfer can be easily achieved, because by adjusting the turns ratio of this transformer, we can try to adjust. So impedance matching will be done. So maximum power transfer is possible. Coming to the disadvantages. So the main disadvantage is, since you are using transformer, automatically it becomes bulky, because if you are using transformer, the weight and size increases. And also, since you are using the coils, so do you think these coils are going to emit heat or not?
Yes, sir. They emit heat.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So they are going to emit heat. So heat dissipation will automatically increase. And since you are using transformer, automatically this become costlier compared to series fed class A amplifier. And one thing you should know, we are going to study this frequency response in the upcoming chapters. But whenever you are using transformer, you are going to, this is transformer, this is directly going to affect the frequency, because F is inversely proportional to L. Inductance is inversely proportional to the frequency. So since we are using transformer which is having coils, coil is going to give out inductance. So obviously it will have a poor frequency response. It will have a poor frequency response. And also there is one more complication here. So we are using transformer. If this transformer's turns ratios are not properly designed, then it will be a problem again. So turns ratios should be properly matched. Then only you are going to get proper output. So these are the disadvantages which we are having. And as 50% efficiency is an improvement compared to series fed class A amplifier, but still, on looking on to a reliable power amplifier, 50% is really a loss. It can just convert 50% only. The efficiency is 50% only. So obviously that can also be considered as disadvantage when you are considering in general. But when you are specific with respect to series fed class A amplifier, then it's an advantage. Okay, these are the advantages and disadvantages of transformer coupled class amplifier. So moving on to this, we are having the next power amplifier, class B power amplifier. So this is very important, and usually they'll ask this. Almost 99% this question will be there. So in class B power amplifier, can anyone tell me where the Q point will be?
Cutoff region.
Cutoff
The
region.
cutoff region.
Cutoff region. Okay. So what is the uh, output signal? Whether it is going to flow for the entire signal or
180
only
degrees, sir.
180 degree.
90
That
degrees.
means in class B power amplifier, it we can get only half cycle, right? And we are having the Q point in the cutoff region. Two things are there. So in order to get the output for the entire cycle in class B power amplifier, what we are going to do is, instead of using a single transistor, we use two transistors. Because you can see in our class A amplifiers, we had used only a single transistor, because class A amplifiers are capable of giving the output for the entire signal. That means it is going to give the output for full cycle. But in class B power amplifier, it works only for half cycle. So that's why, in order to overcome this problem, instead of using a single transistor, we are going to use two transistors. So depending upon the type of the transistor, in class B power amplifier, we are having two types. So one is push-pull class B amplifier, and other one is complementary symmetry power amplifier. One is push-pull class B power amplifier, and other one is complementary symmetry class B power amplifier. So what is the difference between these? So both uses two transistors. Both are having two transistors only. But here in push-pull class B power amplifier, we are going to use either both NPN or both PNP. As I told, there are two transistors. So both transistors will be NPN or both will be PNP. But in complementary symmetry class B, as the name itself tells, complementary. What do you mean by complementary?
Or opposite, sir.
Opposite. So if one is NPN, other will be PNP. This is the change which we are going to look in the complementary symmetry class B power amplifier. Okay, so one is NPN means other one is PNP. In push-pull class B power amplifier, both are same. Either both are NPN or both are PNP. This is the change. And one more thing, here in push-pull class A, class B, push-pull class B power amplifier, you are going to use two transformers. One at the input side, other at the output side. But in complementary symmetry class B power amplifier, we are going to use only a single transformer. That too at the output side, not at the input side. But the working of this almost looks the same. Efficiency is the same. Efficiency of both of them is same, and also derivations are same. So none of the books gives derivations for complementary symmetry because the same derivations of push-pull class B power amplifier holds good for complementary symmetry. I'll just tell when I'm doing derivation of that, I'll be telling what is that small change you need to do. So this usually in the exams, this question is asked, push-pull class B power amplifier. This is also important, but regularly they'll ask this question. So in push-pull class B power amplifier, we are going to use two transistors and two transformers, and both will be NPN or PNP. This is what the basic knowledge which you should have. So in exam, working of class B power amplifier, derive the efficiency for class B power amplifier. This is the usually asked question for 8 to 10 marks. So this is very important. As I told for second harmonic distortion, similar to that, this is the one more frequently asked question. And classification, that is also usually they are going to ask. Okay, let us start with push-pull class B amplifier. Push-pull class B power amplifier. So in this push-pull power amplifier, the first part input signal. So we are giving AC signal, and it is connected to the primary of the transformer. I told there will be two transformer, one at the input side and other one at the output side. So we'll be connecting like this. So one end of the secondary will be going to one transistor, other end will be going to the other transistor. So here, what type of transistors I have used? NPN or PNP?
NPN, sir.
Yeah, we have used NPN transistor. So this is the output transformer. This is plus VCC. It will be connected to this. And this is N1 and this is N2. The turns, number of turns, N1, N2. And this transformer, whatever we have used at the input side, this transformer is working as a phase splitting transformer. So phase splitting transformer. So what is this phase splitting transformer? Say input is a sinusoidal signal, since it is AC. So when you are going to give this input signal to the primary, while going to the secondary, what it is going to do is it is going to split the phase. So here, if positive cycle goes here, to this we'll be having negative cycle. If negative cycle goes here, then here we'll be having positive cycle. So like that, your input will be given. So there will be change in the phase. If this is going to get positive, this is going to get negative. If this is going to get negative, this is going to get positive. So they are the phases will be changed. They'll be having 180-degree phase difference between the two ends. So this is, if you take this as A, this as B. So between these two and at end A, you'll have in positive ends, at end B, you'll be having negative. If at end A you're having negative means end B you'll be having positive. Now since both the transistors, let us take this as T1, this as T2, both the transistors are NPN. So for NPN transistor, to turn on, so first of all, to turn on the transistor, you need positive voltage or negative voltage? For NPN, N, P, N. That means base is positive. Remember always, when you are giving input to a positive base, that means P layer base, then your input should be positive only. Okay. If you are taking PNP, then whenever your input is negative, then only your transistor will turn on. This is the change you should remember. For NPN, now, can you tell me whether in the first half cycle, whether transistor 1 is turning on or transistor 2 is turning on?
Transistor 1, sir.
Yes, transistor 1 is going to turn on because it is going to get, in the first half cycle, it is going to get positive signal. So at the same time, transistor 2 is going to get negative half cycle. So that's why this is going to turn on. After this, the secondary, one more, the output transformer, whatever we are having now, this output transformer is known as push-pull output transformer. That's why the name push-pull power amplifier. Here we have given this input, and at the output we are getting like this. So now working. During first positive half cycle, the transistor T1 is going to turn on and transistor 2 is going to turn off. Since transistor T1 is turning on, the output will be delivered, the positive half cycle will be delivered because of transistor T1. And for the entire positive half cycle, the transistor T2 will be in off state. Then during negative half cycle, since transistor 2 is going to get positive half cycle because of the phase splitting transformer, T2 will be turning on and T1 will be off. And the output will be, since you can see that collector is connected. So the output will be delivered across the primary of the transformer. Once input and output are delivered across the T1 and T2's outputs are delivered across the primary of the transformer, this transformer, whatever we are using, this transformer is going to push and pull the two signals, whatever we are receiving. Say at this point, we have received the signal like this at the primary. Because of the T1, T2, we have got this. So it is going to push it to the higher level, that is positive level, and pull it to the lower level, that is to the negative. So that's why it is known as push-pull power amplifier. One end is going to be pushed to the positive phase, other one is pulled to the negative phase. See, when you are going to stretch the signal on the positive end and negative end, what will increase automatically?
The peak voltage or the max VM.
Amplitude, sir.
Amplitude is going to increase, right? When you are
Yes.
stretching the signal, see here you are pulling it, you are pushing it to the higher end. Here also you are pulling it to the lower end. So obviously it gets stretched. When you are going to stretch, automatically amplitude will increase. This is how the push-pull class B power amplifier is going to work. Okay, so for entire duration of the input cycle, we are going to get the output signal because of the usage of the two transistor. So if you are using a single transistor, obviously you will be getting only half cycle. Since we are using two transistor, we are getting the output for both the cycles. So this is how the transformer coupled class A amplifier works. And since you can see that it is a center tapped one. Center tap means this will be 0. So you can see that if you are having this is positive, for this is positive. They're in the opposite phases. So because of that opposite phase, what happens? This signal, even though it is in the positive phase, this gets inverted to the negative phase, because here the polarities are in the reverse manner. The upper part of the primary coil is 0 to plus in the upper direction, but this one is from 0 to plus in the lower direction. So the upper one is from 0 to plus in the upper direction. So you'll be getting positive signal, because signal will start from 0 and it will end at the maximum positive level. Since this is from 0 to plus, even though you are getting positive half cycle, this positive half cycle gets inverted and it will be coming here. So this is because of T1 and this is because of T2. So this is how this is going to work. Now, after this, when you are considering the load current, when you are going to consider the load current, which is the load current here? Which is from where you are going to get load current?
Sir, in the circuit which has RL in it.
Hello, this is a call from your main gate security.
Just a minute.
You have a delivery from Flipkart. Please press 1. You have approved.
Okay. See, we are having. Yeah, you are telling something. Tell me. Yes, Neeraj.
Yes, sir. So you asked where the load current is. It is in the circuit which has RL in it, the secondary circuit.
Yeah, from where you are getting it? From the collector terminal only you are getting. Right, that's what I was asking.
Yes, sir.
From the collector, that is the collector current, which is coming from transistor T1 and T2, that will act as the current, load current. So, coming to our, as usual, we need to start with our efficiency calculation. So, what is the first step in efficiency calculation? What is first step in efficiency calculation? Usually we do.
So we have to find PAC and PDC.
In that, which is the first step?
DC power, so we find first.
We find the DC power first.
DC power.
So we need to find out DC power. So this DC power is an input or output?
Input, sir.
Yes. So it is DC power input. This is this plus VCC. No, this is going to act as the DC power. Okay, this is because of this this DC voltage, you are going to get the DC power input, and by shifting the operating point properly, you are going to get maximum voltage at the output. So for this DC power, we are having the formula PDC is equal to VCC into IDC, right? VCC is as usual, but we need to know what is this IDC. To know this IDC, just look into the circuit. To watts, if you are going to consider, since we are having two transistor, even though we call this is a peak voltage, and if you consider this as current, it will be peak current. What is the formula for IDC? IDC, same or rectifier equations. Average current equation is what? Im by pi, because it is flowing only for 180 degree. But this Im by pi is only for one transistor. How many transistors we are having? We are having
Two,
two
sir.
transistors. So it will be Im by pi again. So it will be totally 2 Im by pi. This is your IDC. The average current in each transistor is given by 2 Im by pi. This is your IDC. So on substituting this, we get PDC is equal to VCC into 2 Im by pi. That is 2 by pi into VCC into Im. So this is PDC formula. Take this as equation number 1. After this, next, what is the next step? AC power output, right? So for this, let us take our VI characteristics, that is IC, VCE, and this is the load line we are having, and this is our Q point. Since the Q point is in cutoff region, so this is our, what do you call this point as? With respect to the wave.
Maximum, sir.
Yeah,
Peak, sir.
maximum. So I max. So what do you call this point?
Minimum, sir.
V minimum. See, when the peak is going towards zero reference, then it should be minimum. When it is going away from the zero reference, then it should be maximum. Just remember this. So operating point, for this operating point, what is the X and Y values? That is voltage and current values. If you are having point at this Q point here, what will be the Q point value?
So I said VCQ, 0.
No, sir, will be VCC, 0.
VCC,
Yeah, VC.
0. Just a minute. VCC, 0. That is the point. So from this, what do you understand?
The transistor is off.
Hmm? Each transistor is going to work only for the half cycle, and it is in cutoff region. So how can we give AC power? PAC is equal to, what is the formula? VRMS into IRMS. What is the formula for VRMS? Huh?
Vmax
Vm by root 2.
Vm by root 2.
Vm by root 2, Im by root 2. That is equal to Vm Im by 2. So in the same way, what we had done for the previous cases in series fed class A amplifier, transformer coupled class A amplifier. Here also, since you are having the transformer and the transformer is connected to the load resistance, it is connected like this, right? So this load resistance will be having its reflection over the coils. So what do you call that reflected resistance?
RL dash.
RL dash. So here we need to consider reflected load resistance, because we are going to have a load resistance which is connected to the transformer. Now if I want to write this Vm Im by 2 in terms of voltage only, I don't want Im, how can we write? So PAC is equal to Vm. I want to write Im in terms of Vm means what I should do? Vm by
Vm by RL, sir.
RL. This is 2. This is Vm square by 2 RL dash. This is RL dash. In the same way, if I want to write this equation in terms of current, Im into RL dash into Im by 2. That is equal to Im square RL dash by 2. Okay. So after finding out PAC and PDC, next we need to go for efficiency. Okay, so we need to find the efficiency, maximum efficiency, and later on we need to derive an equation for power dissipation, maximum power dissipation. So after that we'll be going for complementary symmetry. So we'll stop it here, and we'll continue in the afternoon class.